Let's create something in the IQ using our scanning board. Notice the scanning board on the top has the white and the black section. You never want to cover that area when you're scanning. It also comes with 6 magnets. Those magnets are the height designed to where when the frame is scanning, it's the exact height that you need to move underneath that embroidery foot and not bump it. This flower was drawn with a thicker Sharpie, but I prefer using a medium tip Sharpie for any of my drawings. And I've drawn it on just regular copy paper. So now I'm just going to grab a few of my magnets. I don't have to use them all. Just use as many as you need to place down whatever you're placing on your scanning board. Now that I have those magnets on, I'm just going to slide my scanning board into my embroidery arm and I'm going to lock down the lever. We'll touch IQ Designer and we want to scan and create a line design. So I'm going to touch the icon that says Create a Line Image. We'll touch Scan and OK. And now your frame is going to move. You'll notice that when the frame is going backwards, your machine is scanning what's on your board. When the frame is moving forward, it's just readjusting itself. Do you really need to know that? Probably not. But if you place your hand or anything up underneath the machine, when you get finished, you're going to see either your hand in the image. So just make sure you keep your hands or anything else from on top of the board. Next, we're going to crop our image. We're going to use our stylus and the red arrows, move it to where it nestles around the design, but not cut any of the design off. Notice that your numbers in the upper right-hand corner are changing. If you leave this red box really, really large, then you're going to need a really, really large hoop. That's why we're cropping it as close as we can. We'll touch OK. It's generating your line design. We'll touch Set, and now you see the image on the background. Next, I'm showing how you can fade out your background image. Not the design, the line design you created, but the background image, like your magnets. We're going to enlarge, and the moment we enlarge, we can move around and look at different areas of the design by placing your stylus in that upper right-hand corner where you see your line design that you've created. Chosen the eraser icon. I'm going to choose the square tip, the small one, and we're going to do some editing on our design. Once again, I'm just moving around the image so I can clearly see where I want to edit. Notice how I have the design. It's real pixelated. It's supposed to be that way. It's really going to allow you to clean it up and have a good visual when you're cleaning it up. And you may not be able to see in the video the little square, but the square appears on the screen so you can visually watch the square come close to where you want to erase. Now I would recommend when you erase to just kind of erase a little bit and pick your stylus up. That way if you mess up and you need to touch undo, you will only undo just the last thing that you did and it would just be a small section. So if you erased a whole lot and you kept your stylus down and then you messed up and you thought, oh, I have to undo, then you will have undone a whole lot. So just erase a little bit, pick your stylus up, erase a little more, pick your stylus up. That's what I recommend. But as you play with this, you're going to get comfortable in how you like doing your cleaning up with your eraser. Again, I'm using the square tip. You can use that circle tip, and they come in different sizes. You can play around with that. But notice how I'm just moving around, kind of looking, and enlarging your design is going to allow you to have a very clear visual of those pixels when you are editing. So you can even enlarge it more than what I have on the screen. See, I messed up there, so I did undo, and I was able to just undo that last one and then fix it. But yes, enlarge quite large if you need to have a really good visual. I was just kind of checking it out. Okay, I like how things are looking at this point. I brought it down to about 200%. We're doing a satin fill, so the blue icon in the middle left is highlighted. I chose the yellow. We'll touch OK. We'll touch our fill cup. And then we're going to touch inside our flower. And we'll go back into our settings page. The fill is still highlighted. Now we're going to choose a pretty pink for our petals. We'll touch OK. And I'm just going to go in and randomly touch a few of the petals, and that's filling that area. Back to our settings page, I'm choosing a different pink. I'll touch OK, and now touch in those other petals. Go back into our settings page in the fill area, and now we're going to grab a green and touch OK. We're going to touch in our leaves and our stem. Oop! What happened? Oh no! Let's undo. Guess what happened? The bottom of the stem was open. So let's go into the settings page on our line design. Let's choose no stitch line. We're going to use our open pencil. We'll touch OK, and then we're just going to randomly draw a little curved mound. Now we can go ahead, highlight our fill cup again, and touch inside the stem. So you'll notice how that closed up the hole. I'm enlarging a little bit. I'm just kind of looking around, and you'll notice at the bottom the stem part kind of extended, so I decided to choose my eraser, go in there and just clean it up. Now the little mound line is a no stitch line, so that's not going to stitch, but the stem part that extended below will stitch. I touched next in that lower right hand corner. You can really see it on the screen. And this brings us to the screen where we can make some individual changes to different things in our design that we're creating. Now if you'll look where you see select kind of in the middle to the right, you have those two arrows. Just to the right of the arrow is an icon that looks like two little chains that are linking together. Now you'll notice that one of my flower petals are highlighted. You can see that petal at the top that's bright pink. It's a satin stitch. So if I wanted to make changes to all the petals at one time, I would want to touch the little icon, the linking icon, and it would grab all of those satin stitches, and whatever I change to them, it will apply to all of them at one time. And that would really make it much faster for you, because this groups all of those satin stitches together, and it would do the same if you were doing a satin outline. You could change them all at the same time by linking them together. Next, we're going to choose the fourth icon from the left. You notice that it says off, but it has the little zigzag stitches on it. And this is our undersewing. We'll turn that on and we'll touch set in just a moment. But what this does is allow a layer of zigzag stitches to stitch before your satin embroidery stitches, and that allows the fabric and the stabilizer to kind of come together, and it gives you a much more quality design. I always turn my understitching on when I'm creating a satin design. Now we're going to touch auto. This is where we can set it to manual, so we can decide the angle, the direction of the satin stitches for the fill. I placed it to 60 degrees. I use that a lot also. We'll touch preview and OK. And so the machine has generated our embroidery design. We look at it. If we like it, we're going to touch set and OK. And that brings us over to the embroidery side of our machine. Now the machine knows that it's best to stitch all your satin stitches first and then your outline stitch last. We're going to touch the needle minus plus, and I'm just going to go forward through the design. You'll see the petals are going to stitch, the center of the petal, our leaves and our stem, and then our satin outline. I'll touch 0 to go back to the beginning of the design. We'll touch OK once again. And then it's time to stitch our original embroidery design. I hope that you try one of your own, maybe Google free line designs, print it out, do some scanning, or even draw some art of your own, or maybe a child's art, and have some fun playing around with this technique. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Please click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to have my Facebook group, my Instagram, and my YouTube channel noted here at the end, so definitely pop over there, like, join, subscribe, and hopefully I will see you next time on the next tutorial.